Good morning, everybody. If you would join with me, we'll stand, say the pledge and a prayer, and we'll dive into business here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Heavenly Father, we come before you this morning with humble hearts as we look to do the county's business. We just look here as we're heading into the Thanksgiving week here. We're thankful just to have grateful hearts for all the blessings you continue to provide for each one of us here, dear Lord. We're such a blessed country, blessed county, blessed individually, dear Lord. Use us in a way that we just glorify and honor you. We just praise you and we thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, first order of business here is signing the claims and minutes.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Now we're going to head into the grant request. The first five of these have to do with ARPA funds. So then we got a different one at the bottom. So first one on the list there is Dave from Kosciuszko Senior Services. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for the committee approving the request to go to the next level. We do have a rescue need in our vehicles. We currently have 5 vehicles. We have a 2012 Ford Van Terra bus with 136,000. 2016 Ford 350 bus with 78,000 miles. 2017 Dodge Caravan van with 71,000. 2018 Ford 450 bus with 23,000. And a 2019 Dodge Caravan with 33,000. Our normal avenue for getting new vehicles would be to write a grant to NDOT, and they would go with Midwest Transit, and NDOT would pay 80% of the cost of the van. We got an email from NDOT Brian Jones, who's a program manager, that due to the shortage of microchips, it's going to be 3 to 5 years before new vehicles are available. He said the chassis to build a small, medium transmitter will be limited to 40 per year for the entire state for the next 3 to 5 years. These chassis will be allocated between the 5310 and 5311 rural public transit, which means it's going to be a while. The van that we are requesting is from Superior Van and Mobility, and I talked to a representative yesterday, and they are holding one for us that hopefully will get approved by you. And they will hold it until the decision has been made, yes or no. The cost right now is the 60,000.
582.
582. That's likely to go up for those type of vehicles in the coming future. Anybody that's bought a new car or even a used car knows that the prices are going up. So what this will do, this will allow us to go, we're going to keep the oldest bus and maintain it. We have a very good service record of maintaining these buses and vans with cab service department. We oil change every 4,000 miles. We do all
Keep the oldest bus?
We will keep the oldest bus.
The oldest bus?
We will. Randy James Mechanic has assured me we can get, if we milk it, another 2 to 3 years. So that way we will go with 3 buses and 3 vans. We have occasions where we need 3 buses, where we have field trips for the seniors. That just goes to our maintenance record with these buses and also goes to the maintenance record for the van that hopefully we get. I think this fits the idea of the rescue plan, what it had in mind and intent. This will be, obviously, if we got 10 years out of our oldest, I could see us getting 10 years out of this van too, at least, and 40,000 miles. Are there any questions at this time for me?
I mean, all these requests have been in front of the ARPA committee. The ARPA committee has chose to bring the list of this 5 forward for the commissioner's approval, and then from here, if we would approve, it goes on to the council for their approval then next month.
But you're adding another vehicle, though.
to your fleet. That's the only thing that concerns me is then on down the road now, we've gone from however many you have to one more, and then that's gonna be an expectation moving forward.
No, what we'll probably do is obviously the vehicle with 130,000 miles eventually will be retired. We're just trying to keep the balance with vans and buses. We've always had at least 3 buses, which hold at least 10. Some of them hold 14. We would like to keep it at 3 so that we can do the field trips and different things for the seniors. If we went to keep the fleet at 5 and switch from 2 buses to 3 vans, then we would not have as much flexibility.
The other thing is that I could maybe see hanging on to that 6th vehicle during this shortage period. And all of a sudden, if they have one go down and they need to replace it, they may not be able to get one
Yeah,
for the
getting,
next year or two. I mean,
getting a
whether or not-
bus is going to be hard. I've talked to several of the people with cabs. Cabs is back ordered on some buses and they're not sure when they're going to get it. The buses are going to be extremely hard. That's why we're holding on to that. We would like to hold on to that 3rd bus.
Thanks.
Any other question?
So like I said, we are assured of the van being held until the decision is made.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you guys like to go through all of these and then come back and vote on them? Would you like to
Let's
take
do
them?
them individually. We'll
Okay.
get them out of the way.
So,
So ARPA funds have been made available for this. We just have to okay it to get it to the council.
right.
I would make a motion, we accept his recommendation.
Second.
So we got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Motion carries. Next is,
Matty left.
Andrew or Barry Andrews on, community corrections.
The answer is no. Oh, go ahead.
Morning.
Morning, Barry.
How are you
Put a
guys?
little levity in there, you know?
So I
We love you
don't,
too.
so I'm sure you've heard this one a few times about the radios. I think this week is the week that the switch gets, at least that's the last I heard, the switch gets turned on. So we were in front of the ARPA team on November 9th and presented the request for 2 new car radios and 5 new handheld radios for the Community Corrections Department. Given the switch that we have coming up, our radios were given to us by the Flintstones, and so they are pretty old. And so we would appreciate your vote of confidence today to approve the $25,000 for us to get those new radios. It is a turnkey quote, so they'll come in and get it ready to roll, and we'll be good to go.
So this was just kind of, we've got 2 of them here in a row on some radios that kind of flew under the radar that we didn't catch when we did our big radio purchase back in, that was in December of
Okay,
last
that
year.
was my question, is I thought we went through that
We-
several times, but
Yeah, we were left out of the original mix, and so we are unfortunately trying to play catch up. So we do
I'm
appreciate
not the
your.
only one saying no, right? Go right ahead. I understand.
I'd make the motion we approve.
I second that.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Happy
you, Barry.
Thanksgiving. Thank
Keep up
you.
the good work.
Next on our agenda is Mentone 4-Way Ambulance Service. Jill, good morning.
Good morning. I'm also asking for additional funds for the radios. We were in the original. We received money and we have 4 new handhelds, but we found out that we're going to need all new handhelds, so we're asking for 10 more. Our ambulances are up to date, so we're asking for 10 more handhelds.
Be
With the
14 altogether?
29,465. Pardon me?
Be 14 total?
Yes, 14 handhelds. We actually have 20 on our service, but we're trying to keep them just with the people that are on duty
More active.
more often.
And I know one other thing that they had brought up in the ARPA committee meeting was that there's possibility that if Mentone 4-Way Ambulance Service would not continue servicing Kosciuszko County for some reason, that those radios would stay with the Mentone Fire Department. So
Sure.
we wouldn't lose those outside the counties.
We hope that doesn't happen, but if
Right,
it does,
right.
we would just pass them on to the fire department.
Very good. Making a motion, we accept the recommendation.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, next on our agenda, Fellowship Missions. Eric? Good morning.
Morning.
Morning, Eric.
Thanks for having us back and for the ARPA committee for approving to move on to this round. I'm here presenting our security request grant for the shelter at 1520 East Winona Avenue. That's our homeless shelter and recovery hub location. What we're requesting is to upgrade, I won't go to Barry's Flintstone, but pretty close to the Flintstones security system that we currently have. We went and got two different bids. The bid that was in front of you that we felt like was the best one is for 7 years. Actually, there's a 7-year warranty with replacement of any equipment within that time period. We're jumping from 16 to 43, and that's because of the uptick that we've seen in mental health addiction services that's coming in our door. We're just seeing an uptick over the last 2 years of
From
services.
16 to 43.
Cameras, sorry, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's audio and video that we'll be able to record in certain areas of the shelter. But yeah, so yeah, we're not just servicing the residents inside the shelter, but also we do community outreach. So we have a lot of people coming in, mental health wise and recovery wise, coming into the shelter to receive services. So, and during winter months, usually November 1 till the end of March, we're open for winter weather amnesty. So that's even more individuals that are in on cots and our warming station that we have for the community. So a lot of traffic coming in and out of the doors, and we want to make sure that we're as safe as we can be. Also, recording, making sure that we have long enough recording. Right now, we don't record that long because it's just old equipment, run down. This will all be cloud-based equipment and versus having a hard drive on the site, so.
And then there'd also have the washers and dryers.
And the washers and dryers, I keep leaving those out, yeah. And, yeah, we have 3 sets on each side now. All of our residents do their own laundry, so we don't have to contract that out. But we've had those for 7 years now, and they run probably 10 hours a day. So we've had to piecemeal them with Smith's appliances, but we're.
How many more sets you gonna add?
We need to replace the 6. So we're just gonna turn them over because they're the.
Replace the 3 sets?
Yeah, the 6 sets total, washers and dryers, yes. Yeah. Any questions?
No.
Any other questions?
I make a motion, we accept your recommendation.
I'll second that.
We got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank
Thank
you,
you very
Eric.
much.
Appreciate your work in our community.
Yeah,
Much
keep
needed.
up the good work.
Okay, last on our ARPA funds then is Scottsgasco County Government, which is the HVAC repair, which I can take that one for us here. This is pretty much, I think it was about a month ago, we had Johnson Controls come in, look at our HVAC system in the Justice Building, and found that there were a lot of the controls that weren't working. You know, we've replaced some chillers and some other things, but some of the controls weren't talking to each other quite right. And some of the sensors and other things that need to be updated and upgraded to where that system is balanced and is working properly and is being as efficient as we possibly can. So these are all things that need to be done to kind of make that system work the way it was. So it's not one trying to heat, the other trying to cool. in
Yeah,
the same
had some
building.
complaints about that.
So we
Good.
found some things that we think we can really make a big difference.
You
in how that-
you need a motion for that?
Need a motion for that.
I'd make that motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, Judge McGrath, good morning.
Morning, Judge.
I am here requesting permission to apply for an interpreter grant. It will be state funds. We have had a grant of this sort years ago, I am told. I learned that late in the process, and somewhere along the line, it was discovered that just cost-benefit analysis, it wasn't worth the administrative costs to maintain the grant, and I think it may be worth trying again. We currently do the best we can to provide interpretive services for our non-English speaking litigants and also hard of hearing deaf litigants. We just simply sometimes run into issues with finding quality interpreters. And although much frowned upon, and we acknowledge that and respect that, there are occasions we have to rely on, excuse me, bilingual staff and even family members to assist us, which for obvious reasons is not an ideal course. So this grant would allow us some additional funding, I hope, to pay our certified interpreters to be available to interpret effectively and accurately regardless of the type of case. This would be for criminal cases, civil cases,
This is from the state, or where's this grant coming
from the state.
Do you
Yes,
have
sir.
any of that budgeted into your budget now? Because I know in the past there has been.
We do. So the services that we provide now and pay for come from a court services fund. If we're able to save dipping into that fund is then available for us to use for other things like guardian ad litems and other great needs that we have. So anything that we can offset our interpreter costs with this grant would give us the ability to use that money elsewhere.
Okay. Appreciate you continuing to look for ways to help stretch the dollars. So.
So is this any kind of matching grant or?
It's not a matching grant. No, it's a reimbursement grant. Once a month, we would submit a voucher essentially showing the expenses that we've incurred and request reimbursement. It's completely unknown at this point how much money is available. It depends how many people apply for it. It depends on our need. We're asking for 30,000. I don't have any way to gauge whether that's a realistic ask or not. Anything we get is better than nothing.
Okay.
And the way the grant, I'm applying for the grant to make it available for all 5 courts. Selfishly, I have to be concerned with my own court, but, since we're making the application, if the money's available, it can be used by all of us. And I think it would serve our purpose as well.
Okay.
Look for a motion.
I'd make that motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Okay, next, Bob.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Bob.
I'm here today to request the purchase of 35 new computers and 35 new monitors to begin replacing our aging fleet the county has. And this is money that is in my budget, so there's no additional funds being requested, just the authorization to proceed.
And how much was it?
What do you plan on doing with those that you're doing away with? Is there
The-
trade-in value or can we?
No, I mean, we usually just let them recycle them. We, flush the hard drives and then recycle them.
Okay. I just want for something in the community that would need. like
Yeah, the ones
4-H
we're
like 4-H
replacing,
kids or
6, 7,
something.
8 years old, so they're of limited value, but if you know of a situation you're thinking of, I'd be happy to entertain that.
Okay.
So how much were we talking?
52,451.35 was the best quote.
What kind of a lead time on that? Are those available or?
We're told that these are in stock, and that's
Oh, really?
what's kind of,
Wow.
yeah.
No, we
jump
really
on that.
struggle getting some computers
Yeah,
in my business.
and that may
Michelle.
change, and we may place the order today and find out otherwise, but that's one of the challenges we've been having is actually getting equipment that we need.
Yeah.
And you're trying to keep those on like a 5 to 7 year rotation?
Yeah, realistically, we need to replace 70 to 80 computers a year to keep within a 5 to 6 year rotation of our equipment. In the last few years, we've not done a lot of replacements because of other issues taking priority.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
we're
yeah.
kind of behind the curve, and so I wanted to use the funds I had remaining in that account this year for what I could purchase from it, and
Okay.
then,
Plus
you know,
you've got a
next
little
year.
more horsepower now to help you get those set up and
yeah,
changed
yes.
out. So.
Okay. I'll make a motion we accept his request.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you. Any department holder, department head this morning to talk to the commissioners? Okay, hearing none. Next is Kosciuszko County Fiber, our public safety communication system. It's a lease agreement for the fiber connection to interconnect the towers throughout our system. REMC was found to be the most cost-effective. Pretty much we have multiple options here to choose from. My recommendation would be we would do a 60-month commitment, and that monthly commitment was $48.98.50 per month. So if you have any questions, happy to answer those. Otherwise, I'd look for a motion to approve. There is the option for a 36, 48, 60, and a 120-month lease. but minimal savings as you got into that longer lease, but would entertain any.
I think
Questions?
I think the key is there that we're going to do it far enough out that we're assured service, but if things were to change, we're not tied into something for 10 years. So I think that's a smart thing to do. I make a motion, we accept your request.
I'd second that.
So we got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Next, County Attorney, Ed.
No public report.
Thank you. Michelle Puckett.
Nothing today, thank you.
Okay. Steve. Steve's gonna make up for all this.
Yeah, yes, I am. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
I have a few things that I would like to bring to you today. We're asking for the approval to apply for a federal grant. And with that, there's a financial commitment that comes with that. The bridge that we're looking to apply for is Bridge 139, and that is on 700 East, and it's across the Eel River. The estimated total project cost is $5.4 million. Our local funding, because this is an 80-20 grant that we're going to apply for, is $1,121,800 would be our portion. This is a huge savings and a benefit to the county. We've went for these many times in the past and have received them. And this is, most of our bridges are covered under a federal aid project to allow us to do these. So I'd like for permission to apply and for the financial commitment letter.
Steve, I know that, we have our bridges inspected, every 2 years for all of them and every year for ones that are at a certain level of condition. And I just appreciate you guys. Are you continuing to look for these grants? I know NDOT, we've been very successful because we've got 4 bridges, I think, scheduled with them, or
5.
5.
Yeah.
So I know we've been successful with these grants with NDOT, and we're only pretty much 20 cents of the 80 or 20 cents of the dollar. Definitely helps us with being able to stretch those cumulative bridge funds as far as we can, because we all know the cost of these bridges continue to just kind of skyrocket, because this is the biggest bridge in the county that the county maintains, correct?
This is the largest bridge that we maintain, and this would be for, as well for 2028. So, I mean,
So construction.
yeah, so
season
we're
2028.
looking at a far way out, and to go through and put in for these grants, it takes an undertowing. I mean,
Right.
there's a lot of engineering, review, traffic studies, historical studies that go into this so that we can, be able to supply those bridges that are safe for the traveling public.
So we would need to approve a request for this grant, but then also there's a financial commitment letter that underneath that as well, just that we're willing to pledge that 1.121 million for the county's portion of that bridge, correct?
That is correct. So with our application, we have to show that we are financial capable to pay our portion of that bridge, and it goes in with the application.
Okay.
Hopefully we get it.
Okay.
I'd make a motion.
I'll make
Move
it.
forward.
I'll second it.
We got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Michelle, that was okay to roll those two together, correct? Okay.
At the last meeting, we went in for, we opened our annual bids. And that's for all the products that the county used throughout the year, whether it be from asphalt all the way to fuel. Reviewing all those, they do have proper documentation. And my suggestion is that we accept all bids, annual bids, for the county highway at this time.
I'll make
Okay.
a motion, we accept his request.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
The other thing that I would like to request is that at the end of the year here, we've had in our budget for a skid loader or for a wheel loader. We went through a source well contract under West Side for a John Deere 644 wheel loader with the total cost of $248,788.57. This is a savings of 37%. The original price was over $400,000. So I would like permission to buy a wheel loader for that amount.
And that's You already have that budgeted
I had
money?
to budget it, correct.
And do they have stock on these, or what's delivery time?
This one's actually only out 4 months.
Okay.
Which is very surprising.
Quick.
Yes, and the service and the warranty on this too. That's a big thing that we have out is an extended warranty, and getting parts can be delivered here in town.
Okay, I make a motion, we accept your request.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
The next one is that I would like permission to buy a wheel rubber-tired roller, and this is used for our chip and seal program. Currently, we have to rent one. Last year, we couldn't find one. At times, we had to just use one. In our operation that we have for chip and seal, we need 2 rubber-tired rollers. We have found one at White County that they have deemed surplus, and it is a used model, and for this Bomag roller, and it's for $50,000. We've wrote a resolution for it.
Resolution is as follows. The White County Commissioners hold title to certain equipment formerly used by the White County Highway Department, to wit, 2015 Bomag pneumatic roller with model number and serial number as listed. The Kosciuszko County Highway Department has need for and desires to acquire the equipment for the sum of $50,000. Indiana Code 5-22-22-10 states that, 1, a purchasing agent may exchange property with another governmental body upon terms and conditions agreed upon by the governmental bodies, as evidenced by adoption of a substantially identical resolution by each entity. And 2, a transfer under this section may be made for any amount of property or cash as agreed upon by the governmental bodies. 5, the White County Commissioners have resolved to sell the equipment to Kosciuszko County for said sum, conditioned upon the board adopting a resolution accepting the equipment in its as-is condition without warranties of any kind express or implied. Now, therefore, the following is hereby resolved by the board. 1, the Kosciuszko County Highway Department is hereby authorized and directed to purchase the equipment from White County for the sum of $50,000, with title for the equipment transferred from White County to Kosciuszko County. And 2, said purchase shall be in its as-is condition without warranties of any kind, express or implied, all pursuant to Indiana Code 5-22-22-10. Resolution submitted for consideration.
So along with that, Steve, you sent your mechanic down there. You've looked through this machine. So I know when you hear the as-is, or feelers kind of go up, but your mechanics have looked at it, and it's a good solid machine, only like 900 hours on it, right?
Yeah, the nice thing about like county highways and municipalities, there is a list, and what it is a operations log. We have it as the same thing as White County does, so we have every service, anything that's ever been done to that loader, all the filters and extra filters they're also going to give with us that they have extra for that machine. And our mechanic does see fit. He was excited, to be honest.
Is that a full width roller, or is that just one lane?
No, just one lane.
Okay.
So
Is this similar in size to the one you have?
it is actually the same
'Cause
size
don't you
as
have a
what we have.
Bomag now?
Yep,
That's what I thought. There's not many that make the pneumatic tired rollers any longer.
and they're hard to find, yeah.
So look for a motion.
I'd make a motion, we accept his request.
I would second that.
So we got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much for your support in doing this. This really does improve our roadways, and everything that you do does help. So thanks for taking the time to do this.
Look forward to
Thank you for
fish.
finding that, Steve. That's, I like buying used stuff when we can if it's quality.
Yeah.
Save some money.
I do too.
Okay, so we're past our 9:15 time. So Matt, we get a
Oh,
petition here this morning.
Matt time.
Good morning.
Good morning,
We've
Matt.
got one rezoning bringing to you today, and we are in Turkey Creek Township. We're looking at about 140 acres. This is for Don McCullough, and they are requesting to go from residential, and you'll see everything on the map, yellow is residential currently, to agricultural. And reflecting on the map is non-shaded, would be existing agricultural. We're right on the west side of Bishop Road, south side of 1300 North, kind of the best example I can give you. the old airport. So you're just to the west of the old Wawasee Airport up there. Again, 140 acres being consisted of 3 tracts. They're wanting to take it from ag to residential. Planning Commission did have a chance to take a look at it, and they are recommending unanimously, 8-0, that it be rezoned.
Okay, your notation on our minutes is from residential to ag.
It should go the other direction, so. Yeah, residential today. Is that not, I'm sorry, if that's not what, I'm not used to going
Saying
to
it the
ag.
other way.
I'm not used to going to ag.
I just wanted to make sure for
Yes.
the record that we're on the
It should
street.
go from
Steve will
residential
straighten
to
us
ag.
out, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Good morning, Steve.
Good morning. I'm here on behalf of Don McCullough. He recently purchased this from the Mason family, and for whatever reason, years ago, Masons had rezoned this to residential, I assume, with the potential for residential development. So on the north side of the tracks, there is no potential for residential development there. Don wants to farm the tillable area that's shown on that 140 acres. Zoned residential creates a couple problems doing that. One, it's extremely difficult to get a USDA number when it's zoned residential. And for anybody in the farming operation, you need that USDA number to avail yourself of all kinds of programs that the Department of Agriculture has. Additionally, if it remains zoned residential, it's a non-conforming use, and that places some limits on what changes you might be able to make within the district, because everything would be a modification of a non-conforming use. So it's simply to rezone it back to agricultural, which is the use that's been made forever. There were a couple residences on the tract. Those have both been demolished now. So there are no structures on the parcel. The parcel's been combined into one, as shown by the Walker survey, and we're simply asking that it all be zoned agricultural, which it has been historically.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Anybody here to speak in favor of this petition this morning? Okay, hearing none. Anybody here to speak against? Okay, none said, so we'll close the meeting to the public. Gentlemen, thoughts?
I would make a motion, we accept the unanimous recommendation area plan.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, motion carries.
You want your papers back, Steve?
Thank you.
Have a great holiday weekend.
Ho, ho, ho.
Okay, any other further
Matt.
business come for the commissioners this morning?
Thank you, man.
If not, we'll see you back here on December the 6th. Have a very great Thanksgiving, everyone.
We need to.
I've always had a problem with.